because now we're going to have the panel, the future of the sector and AI. I ask you please to send your questions using our QR code. And I invite up on stage the moderator of this panel, André Rocha, president of Abramec, and the other speakers, Rafael Martins, Joe Gillette from Hydex, and Luiz Teixeira Domingues from Durley Coros. And we're going to have an excellent closing panel of our event. Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I'd like to thank for the invitation on behalf of CICB for me to be a mediator here. It's an honor to be here presenting Abramec and also to be able to debate a little bit about this topic that's so important for the industry and mainly for the leather industry that faces many challenges considering the current market reality right now. So let's begin with the questions. So let's start with the first one. I will not necessarily direct this question to any of the speakers unless it is asked to a person directly. Or else. So if you feel at ease to answer it, go ahead and answer it. So the question is about the preparation of the leather industry to work culturally with AI. What's your view, the view of the people that are from the industry? Both thinking about being familiarized and being open to new things and new ideas. Who would like to answer?
Okay. Please.
As I said, I am new in the leather industry. I've been working in this industry for 5 years now. But as I said in my presentation, there's still a major challenge, which is the evolution of the leather sector, moving from 3.0 industry, where automation is really well worked on, moving to 4.0, which is the integration of information, and just presented this new horizon, which is beyond the integration of machines, how to bring AI as a tool to do the process, to make that set of equipment work more efficiently together. A little bit of what I learned in the leather industry is that since it's an industry that works with the market and very small margins of negotiations and sales, there is a major concern in advancing towards a new technology or to know more about AI, providing more. They need to feel safer to be able to have ROI. So there are some companies that are more open to that. There are also the curves of the beginner. But for this time that I've been in this industry, I see the industry looking at innovation, but since AI is something very new to all of us, to feel safe or to be able to adapt certain tools to the leather business might take a little bit of time, but they can't take too long to do that. If we're going to talk about all the companies, there are some sectors that are common to different businesses. In the experience that I'm having, if you look at service, marketing, human resources, the different departments beyond the view of the industry, there's a lot of work to be done to look at the workflows, how they are done today, and how AI can use these workflows. If we look at marketing, in the production of ads, social media, videos, and photos. There's a lot of works that AI can help out with, and also in the training of professionals, as I mentioned. So there's something related to the back office where there's a lot of work to be done. And I agree with you that some certain areas of the industry, new solutions are being developed for that. They are being tested, but I think we can already add to our work in the back office with AI.
I have a personal opinion. I travel a lot all over the world, knowing a lot of tanneries in China, in Brazil, in Europe, obviously, US. And I can say that Brazil is very open to this kind of technology, maybe because the dimension of the company is huge comparing the rest of the tanneries. And when I sit down in front of a customer, there are two different approaches. The approach of the big company, very focused on the data-driven business. So in that case, they are interested in saving, margin, everything connected to the business. And in that case, they are very open in hearing what I have to say and in the approach. In the other side, there is the family company. In that case, if we meet the owner, the founder, for example, very difficult. The discussion became a little bit funny when we speak with the son, for example. Maybe because he is educated in the business, and then in that case, leave from the traditional way of thinking, I'm doing leather, okay, I'm earning money from the leather. It's a totally different approach. The two approaches is very important. The mixing of the two approaches is very important because remember, otherwise the chance of the vegan leather is enormous against the leather, the real leather. But we have to find this mix of staying with the feet in the ground of the bean house and in the same time driving the bean house with the data and the AI. And this is a real big challenge.
I believe that it's not only an issue of AI. In general, our industry has to look over the border and see what's happening in other industries. And AI is a link which allows us much easier to use solutions from other industries. So I see it as a good option to easily adapt other technologies in our industry, which we have never been able to do before, and also because our industry is relatively small compared to other industries like artificial leather industry or any other industry. So it allows us to better streamline and to better concentrate our potentials by using experience from other industries. I consider it as a bridge.
Thank you. Just a comment. In Brazil, to us it sounds weird when we talk about vegan leather or synthetic leather. For us in Brazil, when we say leather, it's just leather, real leather. There is a question to Gillett. How do you capture the images and how can you ensure reliability of these images?
I would say it's very easy. We are using a technology which is based on multi-image, and using AI internally within the system, it helps to define every defect and it has to give an objective information. the risk of confusion is lower than 0.1%. The technology we are using is coming out of the glass industry, where we are scanning glass and we have to find integrations with the size of 1 ppm. So we are just making the bridge with this technology and make sure that it is much better than whatever we had until today. And trials have proved that we are achieving 99 point whatever percent. We believe everything below 1% anyhow is not measurable anymore by a human.
Thank you. There is a question from Adriana de Oliveira to Rafael, a comment, a question. AI is fantastic, and it can really promote more productivity and efficiency in the companies. But it encourages us to put more secret data of the company inside. How do you see the data protection and the industrial secrecy? I think this is an issue of the world. Everybody's talking about it. During these last few weeks, we had the American government wanting to use the tools, have access to the information in the tool. Trump himself said that he's going to remove Anthropic from the US because they don't want to provide access to the data. I wrote a column in the newspaper yesterday that ChatGPT had a boon of uninstalling from people's cell phones when they signed an agreement with the US government to share data with it. So we're seeing all of this happening, and at the same time, we need regulation to be put in place. In Brazil last year, we had several meetings, congresses with politicians to define AI use rules and data protection and protecting people, not only company data, but people data. So I would say that nowadays safety is almost a fallacy. We cannot say that things are safe 100%. I do a lot of training in companies, and I noticed that the basic understanding of AI makes people not be protected. I went to this big hotel, and the people in the reception were using their free ChatGPT in their phone, putting in the hotel's information in it. That's the worst thing that you can do, because OpenAI can use that data to train its own AI. We had a case last year about this at a person in the marketing department of a automobile company, and they had an industrial secret of a car that hadn't been launched, and a person from another automobile company found out that the car was going to be launched because the AI talked about it. What I see is that nowadays people are developing their own internal tools and trying to have this protection at home. But this is a very broad topic, to the point of when you hire people, when you create a work contract, we might need to have a clause of the usage of AI of the person in the company. If the company is going to provide the tool for the person to do the work, because most of the companies of the major companies of the world use Microsoft, because Microsoft provides this safety somehow, historically speaking, with the companies. But regulation is a point that's going to provide more safety so that we can use mainly outsourced tools. But this is a major topic in the world. There's a paradox that the excessive safety impedes sharing, which reduces the possibility of results, but excessive sharing provides unsafety. If we look at Europe, there's a major discussion there where that the regulation there is more strict. China and in the US, the companies grow faster because they don't have so much regulation. So when you are the chief of state of a country, you have to decide if you want the rules to be stricter or less, so you're going to focus on rapid growth or not. This is a question. And this might cross with our own personal position, because when we talk about data safety in our companies, and we expose ourselves, and when we are able to balance our personal life in terms of safety, it's going to be easier to do that in the company because these things get mixed. We have another question. In practical terms, from Alexandre RBT. How small leather industries with low technological infrastructure and not much resources can implement AI in a viable way with measurable ROI? This is open to all of you. I can answer. I think the question is always the same. People ask, they want to know how AI can solve their daily problems, and there are several free tools, low-cost ones. So the question can be answered like this. Which are the tools, the cheaper tools, what can be used daily? And as I said, in the training I did last week for the leather industry, they had a big bottleneck in the production of parts. And we connected an AI there that cost $20 a month, something really cheap, to help them. So the small business nowadays use these tools a lot. If we take Lovable, as I said in the talk, $25 per month, you can do so many things with it. So this is a tool for small businesses, but this is not the question. The question is, which problems do you have to solve? And I had a client that sent me a ChatGPT print where he asked ChatGPT about how to solve his issues. Maybe this is a good way to debate with the system. And what I said also, Rafael also mentioned, and other colleagues also mentioned, you have to know what to ask AI. This is a little bit of our experience here, which issues, which bottlenecks, and look at the menu of all of the solutions that we have, the AI and ERP management and others that in the beginning needs AI to be worked with. How all of this can help to solve the bigger issues. And a question to you, a demand for professionals in the future will be that these professionals know more about AI and the possibilities of the different tools as you showed here. I don't know if they're going to be a part of IT or another department, that this person start looking at things of how they can bring the technology into the reality of each company.
We are experiencing some application of the AI in the tannery, not only for the vision AI. And the way of working is like a project. No chance on that. So it's not necessary huge investment in one shot. Because first of all, you have to talk with the people. And the best enemy of the AI is the people. The mindset of the people is the problem. And AI is growing a lot in a very short time, but the mindset of the people not. So in any case, we have to wait that the people join to this kind of technology. And this can be done also making a plan with some step. and you define also the investment for each step of it. Having this approach can be more easy to enter in this kind of technology. I can tell you honestly, it's not possible to think in some months, like making a video or like, we are talking a really big and difficult process with more stage. We make a study and there are something like 2,000 different variables in the tannery process, starting from the raw material to the end. And you have to connect this variable, okay? So it's impossible to put everything in one box and have the result, the correct result. We need to divide the approach and the project in some step, putting the investment in, having the result, the first payback, because that's very helpful for the company and for the people to understand that the implementation of the AI can improve the margin by reducing the cost. So this is the real problem in this moment. We cannot think of, okay, ChatGPT is very fast, but think how many people are contributing in the growing of ChatGPT every day. All of us in the free version, okay? But if we go inside the company, taking the database inside in the company, so we are talking the company, not the world. In that case, we need to change also the mindset of the people. That requires time.
I believe that AI is a subject like any other revolution which we have had in the industry. It started with steam machines, it started with moving from the pits to the drums, from the drums to any kind of other technology. I think, first of all, we have to reduce our expectations into AI. It's just a tool, and a tool you have to know how to use it. It's like a gun without bullets is worth nothing. And this is the same with all these technologies. So first of all, we have to be, and we have to check this over the next years. It's like try and fail. When we have a new chemical and we try it in the tannery, we run it with a few small hides, with a few hides in a trial drum, and then we correct. And that's the way we should consider also AI. We have to first find out where can we use it, where can it be the most profitable, where can we achieve easy the next steps, and the other ones which are more complex, we just put them aside and attack them later based on our experience.
I think a summary of what was said is there's no fast way, though it's a powerful tool that we need a lot of effort to be able to use it. And some of the experience that I have with AI, I saw that many people start really hyped up, thinking that it's a panacea that's going to solve all the problems of the world without any effort. And that's not true. We see that there's a huge potential, but there's a lot of potential, and you need dedication and effort. We have a question, one more question. How AI can help to answer more subjective questions in the tannery and improve quality in terms of grading. Who would like to answer?
Quality is not only grading, first of all, because the leather is not just defect. The leather is a texture, has a volume, like surface, like thickness, like softness, many characteristics. So if we reduce the AI just in the grading, we are making a big mistake, because the aim of this kind of projects is to put the, let me say, sensor where we need to have a short payback immediately. At the end of the story, it's only a matter of money, okay? Because if you drive in this direction, we can have result. About the grading. Obviously, this kind of technology is very helpful. It's the first things when looking at standard tannery. In Europe, for example, in Italy, Arzignano, where we are, the tanners say, okay, the best people that they have are the graders, sorry, okay, on the top of the viewer, and they are earning more money than the other because they are driving this kind of action. But it's only, the aim is having this ladder. It's not good or bad ladder. It's the ladder for this article, a ladder for that article. Okay? Having the traceability, for example, and the grading technology, we are able to drive the ladder in the right direction, because otherwise there's no chance to work with the ladder.
Alguém mais?
Yes, it's very. I just have a complementary action to comment to it. When I started in the leather industry a few decades ago, an old tanner told me the most beautiful leather is the leather where you can make a maximum of money on. And doesn't mean either it is aniline leather or it's a split or whatever. And the issue is the only way to make a lot of money is always the grading today. That's where the value of the system is. And in addition to this, today, the production cost. So we just have to be objective about this and see the limits of it. And if somebody wants to talk about ROI, you do not have only the first glance impression, okay, I'm just playing around with the grading. You have to be aware about the follow-up costs. And there, AI is a genius system for making this objective, for showing up really where are the hidden champions and where are the big errors which you do not see with an Excel sheet or something like this.
Nós temos ainda 5 minutos.
We still have 5 minutes, so I'm going to do a provocation, see if you all accept it. I own a tannery. It doesn't matter the size. A tannery is an industry that processes leather and sells it. So all 4 of you, each one in your area, if I decided today I want to test AI, so that I can be familiarized with it and understand how it works, what would be your suggestion? Where should I start from? In which part of the process to be able to have the vision of the result that it can provide? Don't just a view, not something deep. How could this provide a different result in the industry, in the marketing? Who would like to answer?
I can start. I was the last one. So, very simple. First of all, you have to identify the sweet spots in your production. And once you know what your sweet spots are, you have to evaluate them based on the ROI, which of these sweet spots is bringing you the biggest benefit and ROI in the same time. And that's basic it. If you do not know where your sweet spots are, no ROI or no analytics software can help you. Was short enough?
From the experience that I have from the project that we do, we start with the teaching of how to use AI, like what I showed here, going more and more in depth. And as you said, we should begin with the problems that we need to solve. And we start from the principle that AI can help solve many of the problems. So having this mapping and this learning curve, the trend would be to establish the project, understand how much they would cost, a payback view, so we can know where we're going to tackle first and put our efforts in, because there are many things that can be done. But from my experience with this question, start with finding out which are the problems and the learning curve of the professionals, teaching them how to use AI, and thinking about the payback, how much it's going to cost, when the money is going to come back, and how this is going to make that work more efficient. This is how we have been doing. I think I would say the same thing that everyone said here, because there's no recipe. Depending on the size of the company, first of all, you have the company, the type of product it produces. There's a lot also related to the culture of the company and the vision, how all of this is structured. I think this mapping of the issues is important, and in this mapping we should be able to see how we can do this at the higher level, high management, also understanding how this can really contribute. Because when you are in the high management, you look at bottlenecks, you don't see the bottlenecks. And sometimes a solution can change things. That's when we started implementing best practices in farms. Some farms, a low-cost investment, sometimes no cost, of doing something in a different way, generating productivity results that you would not expect. So sometimes they're not very complex and high-cost solutions, like Cheddar says. But it depends on this first diagnosis. As I said, if this solution is not connected to what your business is and what are the results you're looking for, it will not survive in the company.
Sometimes I'm involved in the sales. Then they can say, came in Jerry, we can help you. But okay, I'm joking. And as I told before, the application of AI like stairs. So step by step. The most important thing is to have in front of us, all of us, people that is open-minded, with a really base knowledge, deep knowledge of the process, because the real problem of the application is to find people that believe in the AI and at the same time knows the project. This is the real challenge, to find the people in the company. So obviously the younger people are more open in front of this technology. But because the tannery process in the time was a lot of the mind of the people, not writing down somewhere. For example, in the grading technology, there are few companies that has a book with the defect and the grading. I think that I can count in 2 hands all over the world, because we are always in front of grader. Oh, this is first, this is second, this is third. After 30 minutes, the opposite. Oh, if I use this kind of approach to teach the system, it's not a fault of the system. It depends from the teacher, okay? So the really best thing is to find people that know deep the process, having an open mind, and maybe if they are a team, because for the application of this kind of technology, we need not just one person inside the company. We need a team, a strong team that grow with the technology.
Ok, nosso tempo acabou.
So our time is up. I'd like to thank you once again for your participation. I think it was very rich for all of us. It's a topic that beginning as a discussion. I hope that in the next year we'll be able to discuss further and go more in depth and have more examples of AI in the tanneries. Thank you very much.